Good morning, good to be back here. This beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I say beautiful again because it's a Thursday morning, and when the week is running to an end, I am usually excited. I'm very glad that he had, gotten to that point where you can say for a fact that the week is going closely. But you see, Thursday morning like this means that Valentine is coming soon. Valentine is coming soon. Miss Valentine is coming soon, and someone like me who has so many vows all over the world. You're watching me right now, you're one of my Valentine, and I know you're already getting ready, getting ready to send me those gifts, Valentine gifts. So yeah, I'm excited because I get to get gifts from you this Valentine again. So if you've not thought about my gifts, I can give you ideas. Cake, wristwatch, jewelry, more cake, perfume, best all over. I love perfume. I love branded perfumes. Don't buy me just any perfume. I love branded perfumes. I love designer perfumes. Crazy about them. Don't tell anybody. I'm just crazy about designer perfumes. And you know me. You know that African print is my best gift ever. I wear them almost every day of the week. So African print, Ankara, you want to give me batik, you want to give me our very own, what do we call it from Abeokuta? You want to give me that one too? Yeah, it's batik in English, but then we'll call it something locally. So you want to give me all these African fabrics, readily available, made, not yet made, chocolates. Adire, yeah, batik, adire. What else do I like? Okay, yeah, I love smoothies, and I love, the fruit mix, the one you do with Greek yogurt. I really love it too. So you can give me all these gifts. Valentine, Monday morning, I won't give to pour in so much so that I'm just gonna become so big in just a few days, So get ready, and David, make sure you give me the first gift. If not, Monday morning, I'm going to deal with you so much you would practically miss the way to the toilet when I'm done with you. So, all my gifts must come. So, yes, I'm excited because Valentine is coming. And I have not bought the adulterated fuel that is spoiling people's cars. I'm lucky. So, I'm also excited about that. Good morning, Nigerians. And my guest this morning, I must begin and ask him that same question. Mr. Akin Fatuge, usually Thursday morning, joins us on the Bumper Breakfast Communications. He's, like he usually says, pass back when it comes to auditing. That's his profession. These are the people that you wake up in the middle of the night and they just have it. And then when you talk about business advisory, when you talk about music and arts, this is the man to talk to. So yes, it's always a pleasure having Mr. Akin Fatuge in the studio with us this morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Tomisi. Good morning, Nigerians. Nice to have me here. You asked for gift for Valentine, and I listened carefully as you were reeling out those gifts. And you left one. Let me be the first to hand that over to you in advance. My prayers.
Oh, yeah.
That your road will continue to be rough. But you will always continue to surmount them. So, listen, because you have continually at great cost to you, and I know that people who are close to you know that, try to add value to life, understanding of people, politically, economically, and most especially youth empowerment. May the Lord continue to bless you.
Amen.
Be with good health.
Amen.
Anything that belongs to you will always continue to be pleasant.
Amen.
So have that from me as my first
Valentine gift
in advance.
And don't forget, my account number is 00371899649. It's a GT Bank account. It's 00371899649. So that's where the rest of the Valentine gift will go to. It's my bank. Money. Good job. Money. GTB. Good job. I should give it again. 00. Write it down. 371. Write it down. 89649. Don't forget to That's where the rest of the Valentine. So you live very far. You want to give me Valentine gift. You can't send it. You don't want to spend money on dispatch. Just put it in my bank account. Trust me, I used to receive it though. Instantly. Once you send it, I get it. Yes, we're talking this morning, and I said I am quite lucky. I didn't buy the adult water fuel. Did you buy the bad fuel?
Well, obviously, I didn't buy the fuel, but I have evidence of people who bought the fuel, and there's a lot of gnashing of teeth. The property index of Nigeria has gradually gone, well, this time gone up in terms of what you have, what economists call disposable income. And so some people have cars as assets that they used to generate income. Because of lack of transportation, cars are available to take children to school and what have you, and this have been disrupted. And let me say here and now that I'm a very sad Nigerian. Yeah, not been affected, but I'm a very sad Nigerian. I'm sad because exactly 14 years ago, 14 years ago, this month, something similar to this happened. Contaminated fuel. It came in. I know because I was in the middle of it back in my days in ExxonMobil. Contaminated fuel came in and it knocked so many cars. Do you know why I am not happy? I was part of a core team that drew up a template to identify why it happened. Why is MV Governor, that was the vessel that came in on incidentally February 14, 2008, when the whole world was like Lovers' Day, brought in that deadly contaminated fuel. Number one, the authorities at Apapa Getty did not test. We established that. And as we say in football, if the midstream failed, should the goalkeeper not be ready to make sure he or she does his best so that the ball does not go past the goal post? The goalkeeper also failed. The goalkeeper then was DPR, Department of Petroleum Resources. Okay, if that fails, still looking at the football nomenclature now. What about VAR? Video Assisted Referee. Those were the likes of us who took in these products. We took in the products, and because we had a quality lab, the best, may I repeat myself, I'm no more there, so it's not as if I'm going to do marketing. The best you can have in sub-Saharan Africa, the quality lab. We did our test. It is part of our standard procedure. And we found a borderline to see that ethanol content of that fuel and the smelling that came with that fuel, and we flagged it. We went back to DPR. This that you have brought in,
it's bad.
It's not looking nice. And what did DPR do? Oh, come on, it's okay. If it is okay, could you give us a letter to that
effect?
And they did.
Oh my.
So we had a letter to that effect. That was what saved the industry 14 years ago. Now we are now doing exactly the same thing.
The same thing.
The ship that brought it in, and Duke Oil, the trading arm of NNPC, we know them, they brought all this in. Those who have collected this, there are about 5 of them. We know them. And yet, what we are now being told, investigation is going on. What
no, yes, investigation is going on. They know. The Minister of the State for Petroleum, Temipre Silva, did say they know who brought in the fuel. They know the companies, they know who the importer is, and they will make that public quite soon. But they intend to do due investigation to find out how they missed it.
And Tomisin, and that is why I'm not happy. You know, I'm not happy. I'm a Nigerian, okay? All right, I am a proud Nigerian. Don't say that to me, okay? Tell it to the Marines. When this happened 14 years ago, within 24 hours, we knew what went wrong, who brought in what, and we went to DPR like I told you, and they gave us a clean bill of health, so that people can just continue to go and
use it.
Why? Because of the big C, corruption in high places. Secondly, I just told you that within 24 hours, the template, we had an emergency response in place, we had crisis management in place, our change management in place. This is by a touch of a button. And a report was written that never again should this happen in our country. Where's that report?
And yet 14.
That report is gathering dust somewhere else, and now we are talking about contaminated fuel. Are we not aware that planes have been falling from the skies, and that incident investigation, that is what it is called, should be such that it should not repeat itself? Do you know, as I speak, people, the regulators look the other side, and yet, God forbid, I can pray. But pray as much as you can. If you don't do the works that you need to be done, this place will still continue to fall. Now, you heard about adulterated kerosene. People have taken the Jet A1 fuel that's supposed to go into the plane. They have dabaru. Some of these things find their way into the planes. Do you have a bus stop up there?
No.
And if anything should happen, it keeps on going on and on. My point is simple. Process, procedure to follow is lying with the authorities. I've just told you I was part of it. Customers were going to tear my shirt and all that, and then they were happy to say, oh, it is mobile. That's where I was working. It is mobile. We established who brought it in. Was there consequence? There won't be consequence. You know why there won't be consequence? The hand that is dodo cannot do ododo. The hand that takes dodo will not be able to come out. And right now, I just told you, what investigation?
Let's listen to the minister.
What investigation that we already know who is done what? Let's see what government needs to do. Let's compensate people. Let's make sure it is not done at high cost to our over borrowed capacity.
Let's listen to the Minister for State for Petroleum. It looks as if that speech was not inspiring to you, but let's listen to him, and then we're back to talk about it some more.
The issue did not come up in council, but of course you will recall I was here yesterday to brief Mr. President on the issue. I'm not in a position to disclose the identities of the companies, but there are some issues, and we are actively tackling it. Methanol, nobody has before now checked for methanol in our fuel. It's not very usual, and this is the first time this is happening. And NNPC is very much up to the task, and I will also convey your question to NNPC and maybe the midstream and the downstream regulatory authority. But we are actively handling it, and I want to assure you that the problem will be a thing of the past very, very soon. Oh, well, I don't expect you to rush to any conclusions. You know, there will be a major investigation to unravel everything. And then let's really get to the bottom of it before we can come back and tell you what is going to happen to the culprits. We know that some people's vehicles must have also been damaged. That is also going to be taken into consideration in dealing with the situation.
We're back here. Interesting. That speech was not inspiring to you, Mr. Akinfensoge.
It can be inspiring to me.
The promise to probe, like the front page of the Guardian said this morning, let me quickly tell you that about 300 million liters of PMS arrived Lagos. That's the banner headline, or the top story of the Guardian newspaper. The banner headline talks about the aviation fuel, where we're going next. But the federal government begins the probe of this dirty fuel. And the promise the Nigerians whose cars were damaged as a result of the bad fuel will be compensated, will be considered.
It's not inspiring. It is untrue. It is unfair. It is unconscionable. If you do not know, I don't have a problem if you do not know. Please seek knowledge. I just told you 14 years ago, the template that was used, how we were able to resolve. First of all, our customers, it was just sincerely.
Okay.
Are you listening to me?
Yes.
Just sincerely, that got in and said, this is the truth, because the paper headlines had just gone, because we were the first to be affected, that station. When we did our QA, quality assurance, we said, this is that fuel. We rushed to the authorities and said, hey, you must stop. You know what we were told? You guys go and deal with what you. And then we brought out the missing.
Democracy?
We brought out the paper. What can we do and stuff like that? You are going to get us to be hushed? No, we don't do business like that. Cars have been damaged. Lives have been maltreated. We insisted that the right buttons were going to be pressed. With all humility I can gather, if not for what is happening now, you will never hear such from me. Sat down in DPR. I am mobile, mobile. Issue a statement, and they were going on. So I sat down and I said, we've got to issue a statement. Nigerians, we've dropped the ball again, DPR. We know who brought it in. Incident investigation is there. We do have customers. Initiate the insurance and compensation. Then, few compensation were made. How many people will have the money for lawyers? And said, so that this kind of thing does not happen again. We did the report. Mr. President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the junior minister, he is the president.
He is the minister for petroleum.
Please, can we ask for that report? That report detailed line by line how this should not happen again. The international vessel that brought this current one after 14 years had been blacklisted, should not bring in fuel. I speak with authority. I speak not because I just want to speak. I speak because I see Nigeria being destroyed. Why is this not happening in Ghana? Why is this not happening in Rwanda? Why is this not happening in Ethiopia? Why is this not happening in Uganda? Because that same template we used, they all looked at Nigeria as perfect example. Shared it all around, and they are using it. My own country, Nigeria, with all the knowledge we have, keeps on falling and dropping the ball all the time. 14 years after, we are going through what we are going, and I'm hearing somebody saying to me, saying to gullible Nigerians, and Nigerians better open their eyes and open their eyes. They can't say that to me. If I left the shores of my office, and I've gone out of this country, and fingers have been pointed to me, and I said, well, accident can happen anywhere. And I hid under it. I said, what did you do about it? And I showed them the templates that I used. And yet, in 2008, in 2016, this vessel that came from Switzerland has been blacklisted. Who hired that vessel? They know. They hired that vessel, and then they will now then say, we are going to continue to investigate. How many things have they been investigating? And that's why I always say to fellow Nigerians, I am here as a medical doctor to tell you the truth, that there is a cancerous happening within our rulership. If they don't care for us, you are going to continue to lick your wounds. Tonisi, do you know the sad part? I want to hear the sad part. It's going to happen again. Because there has not been consequence. We've not followed procedure.
Now the issues of consequence
and
when you behave.
The reason
badly.
why there is no consequence is because the hand that is driving the whole of this is at very high places. How do you now then say, go check it? I'm on national television talking. I know the law, and I know the rule, and I know the procedure. I am sad, and I'm talking the way I'm talking because deja vu, it has happened to the movie. We've seen this movie before,
And we have watched
we
the
got a written confirmation. Yeah, you know, initially when it happened that day, the other time, it's mobile. People always want to pass buck. Now they've started the issue of passing buck now. And then the innocent will continue to suffer,
but let's
and then
look
the
at
guilty will continue to just smile to the banks.
But let's look
That's not
at
how
it
to run
this
a
way.
country.
Let's look at it this way. Nigerians have said that the NNPC brought this fuel into the country. Is it the NNPC's duty to bring in fuel into the country? Or are there importers? Because now the story is also that importers who brought the fuel into the country, independent importers.
That is why they will continue like baggage, continue to go front and back. Let's understand. Get yourself knowledge for you to understand the way Nigeria is going. Yes, everything comes back to this subsidy or no subsidy thing. When President Muhammadu Buhari was coming in, Mrs. Okonjo-Iweala, you know how she's respected, so it doesn't matter. She was the coordinating minister for the economy at that time. And I remember very well, Moment, that is oil marketing majors. You are owing us so much money in subsidies unpaid, including subsidies for cowboys and the real players. He had gathered all of us together at that time, only Jonathan's time. You may remember in 2012, Ojota, and all that.
Yeah.
People with portfolios have been spending to the banks in trillions. Wasted Nigeria. And we said, okay, if you want us to continue to import, where are you going to pay this? And she gave us a schedule. Mr. Okonjo-Iweala is still a living, valid Nigerian operating at the World Trade Center. She's going to hear what I'm saying. And she pleaded with us. The new government is going to come in. Well, part of our handover will be, this is how we should do it and all that. President Muhammadu Buhari came in. We all know their story. We gave him a paper. We told him the truth. And he made a statement. And he answered, I don't trust anybody. Remember, for quite a long time. And then it was, the paper we gave Mr. President and Mr. Vice President will be hearing what I'm saying. Some of us don't speak. But when it comes here, we've got to lay it bare. The paper is with them. Now what did we hear? Oh, all these people are thieves. Oh, there's nothing like subsidy. Professor Tam David West now said fuel can be sold for 48 naira. Even if you chose to believe that, are we not scientific? Can we not pull it together? That was not done. 6 years plus after wasting and wasting and wasting more, and I want it to go back to where you should have started from. Please, if you do not know and you are not aware of what to do, ask the experts
to advise.
But Mr. President said, I don't trust them. I don't have a problem. You say you don't trust us. But it should not take you more than 6 months for you to test whatever it is that you had. And after borrowing and borrowing trillions.
How would you expect that it should take 6 months when it took more than 6 months to appoint ministers?
Because it was like a template. We gave a template of how this is going to work.
Which obviously the president needed to probe.
No, you don't need to probe. That template will say.
No, but that's the favorite word of this administration. We'll probe everything.
Let me make it simple. That if you put 2 here, and you put plots in between, and you put 2 there,
it's always going to be 4.
But if you put 2 here, and you put a plus there, and you put another 2 there, and you are getting 6 or 5, okay, now prove it to me. Are you using binary? It was as simple as that. Things that is done elsewhere and is properly done. When they now put that aside, after 6-7 years of a lot of waste, of a lot of resources, of a lot of borrowing to service consumption, fuel consumption, after not taking care of her border post, there are so many things in here. Of course, you know, Labour Congress. It's not just government. Labour Congress, we not go.
Oh, no, you cannot remove subsidy. That's the song of the Labour Congress.
Have continually gone, and I say, whether at the presidency, whether at the National Assembly, whether at the state government level, whether at the local government level, whether at there are so many other interested parties, including Nigeria Labour Congress, and I challenge them because we work with them. They were going to tear me to pieces for saying the truth. But are we not now being vindicated? I am saying what I am saying, not because I just want to come here and I told them so. I am saying what I am saying because it is a continuous process. Regulation is failing. My country is failing regularly. The ball is being dropped. Now, see what is going to happen now? 300 million liters of
PMS, premium motor spirit.
PMS that has gone with methanol is in the country, is lying in the tanks. Good fuel that is supposed to come cannot come in. Back to my experience 14 years ago.
Yes.
We had to pump back. Are you listening?
Yes.
We have to pump into the ships. The ships are incurring demurrage. We have to pump back, and that came at a cost. You have to get the best engineers so that you don't get spillage, you don't get people to steal and all that kind of thing. That costs a whole lot of money. It was humongous. Not to talk of people who lost their means of livelihood. You have to be able to do that. But what I'm hearing the junior minister say is that, well, we now know who they are. We are going to ask them, take it back to them to go and sell where.
Okay, so this is another part of the story. The assurance given by the federal government is that that's through the Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, NMDPRA, that at least 6 vessels ordered by the NNPC had arrived to the country. Now, this is what has happened. The Chief Executive Officer, Farouk Ahmed, has said that the vessels came in with 300 million liters of petrol meant to close the gap created by this bad fuel you're watching on the screen right now, which will be the bad fuel withdrawn from the depots and the filling stations. Now, the regulator on Tuesday said the limited quantity of PMS with methanol quantities above Nigeria's specification was discovered in the supply chain. What this means is 300 million liters of good fuel has come into Lagos, and that is apparently been distributed. However, the fuel scarcity has persisted.
It's going to persist. Do you know why it's going to persist?
Well, hold on, Mr. Fasuke. We went on the streets and we had conversations in Abuja and Lagos with motorists, and here is what our correspondents came up with. The reports from Abuja tells us the kind of difficulty the drivers are facing right now getting fuel at the various filling stations. And of course, here in Lagos as well, we obviously went to the filling stations closer to our office here, Yaginibi, Alausa Ikeja, and then we saw the exact same thing. Queues upon queues of vehicles wanting to get fuel. Let's look at that report, and then we're back in the studio to talk some more about the story.
Increase, no help us. When they increase, the first time they said they will come on subsidy. Say after 6 months, we'll see the impact. Where the impact today? The thing still was. Now they won't still come on subsidy again. It will not help us. Those people, they are just useless us and do what in their mind. Even though say something, even though they know say it is okay by them, but they will do what is in their mind. That's what I said.
It's seriously hindering the process. You queue for 3 hours to get fuel. When you lost 3 hours of driving time, how many hours is left? I came out here before 8. I queued here around after 8. And what time is it there by? It's almost midday, and you can see I'm yet to get fuel. So it's bad. It's bad, and nobody is talking. The regulators, we are not hearing anything. I don't know. It's challenging. We are not meeting up. For those of us who are doing commercial driving here in FCT, it's very tough. Go look behind you. See the queue. Some of them will be there for the next 30 minutes, and it's building up. We are even fortunate this total is selling. Majority of them they don't sell, but only at night. You see them open at night and sell. So. And selling to people on jerry cans and all of that. So, asking me about government, I have nothing to tell government. Government, they know what to do.
I'm coming from Plateau on my way to my station, Niger State. There is no fuel. I have to wait and join the queue. What will I do? It has. By now, I'm supposed to be in my station. What am I going to do? I have no any option. I hope the federal government will address this issue once and for all. Nigerians are suffering. This is the seat of the federal government. You can see the fall. It's really embarrassing. We have all that it takes. Let the government fix our refineries and things will move on fine. That's all.
Those were drivers here in Lagos and Abuja telling us exactly what they've gone through. And this is one issue that affects everybody as we speak. Getting fuel into your vehicle is almost a problem, which means there will be spike in the price of transport cost as well. Now, industry risk collapse, another story, front page story of the Guardian newspaper, and of course the same story on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this morning, as aviation fuel hits 400 naira a litre. The fuel price, it has riders like fuel price increased over 100% in 1 year, from 190 naira to a litre. Air travelers to pay more. Local airlines grown over spike in operating expenses. Nigeria's domestic airline business may go into extinction, says Okonkwo. And FEC okays 12 billion naira for procurement of plane bridges. African Airlines lost $8.6 billion in 2021 to COVID travel restrictions. The Nigerian Tribune expands a little bit more as the airlines raise alarm as aviation fuel now sells for over 400 naira a litre and says no need for panic buying. That's what the federal government is saying. As FEC okays 13 billion naira. Okay, the Guardian newspaper gives us a different figure, gives us 12 billion. The Nigerian Tribune gives us 13 billion. While we move straight to the nation, still talking about the fuel issue. Fear grips the Petroleum Ministry Department. Scarcity spreads to Osun. The big question on the toxic petrol is also there. Simi Silva says government to unravel how toxic fuel was imported. Right? Operators grown over rise in aviation fuel by 110%. That's the percentage of increment that happened with the aviation fuel. Adulterated fuel, another story, Punchline story, Punch newspaper. Marketers fear court cases. Federal government hints at compensation for damaged vehicles. Customers are having problems with fuel, suing outlets, arresting owners, marketers. 300 million litres arrive in Lagos as NNPC assures customers of a 20-day supply. All right, still looking at the fuel issue. I'm trying to say if we have more riders there to talk about the aviation fuel. Now, another part of the story goes back to aviation fuel, which is rising to 400 naira a litre. Used to cost 190. Air travel has already been made almost too expensive for the average Nigerian since COVID-19 came. Now, they had to make up for the money that was lost during the travel restrictions throughout 2021 and 2020, which has been, has been put together at $8.6 billion in just 2021. Airlines across Africa together, $8.6 billion. That's bigger than average.
Yes, and again, we go back to the roots of appropriate pricing. This subsidy or no subsidy that we are running away from is a cancer that we should.
Oh, do we subsidize aviation fuel as well?
No, we don't subsidize. It's not that we are subsidizing. At one point in time, it used to be subsidized. No, diesel, of course, and Jet A1 is not subsidized, but I want to tie it to.
Okay, to the subsidy issue.
As we speak, in a race to do away with subsidy, labor was like Nigerians want fuel the way it should be held, and they have a right to do that because we don't trust
the government.
Those who are in. I just told you 14 years ago, things that I never expected in my lifetime to happen
Again.
is still happening. I still see in Upper Iweka Road in Onitsha, I still see in Delta, I still see the trucks traversing, overturning, killing people. It has always killed people. There is also a template that has been done, it's been put aside for filthy lucre.
I still wonder why we
I
transport
want to
fuel on our roads anyway.
Nigerians a question. In the rush to say, no, we are not going to put subsidy, the Petroleum Industry Act that has been signed into law has been put in abeyance. That law
It's been
has
suspended,
now
don't forget.
outlawed DPR that we had at that time.
Yes.
Has now replaced it with upstream regulatory agency,
And down.
midstream and downstream
downstream.
regulatory agency.
Yes.
It is their responsibility to, just like referees, make sure that the process and procedures are taking place.
Okay.
Now, if you have suspended that, can they legally now be in operation? In other words, we suspended that in haste without thinking that anything could happen. As that just happened now. So who's in charge? Call them. Yeah, you see statements coming out. Legally speaking, are they a legal entity? Can you suspend a whole and expect a part of the whole to be operational? A great question. And I also hear that yes, we are going to punish people and all that kind of stuff. What is the local standing? Whose responsibility is it to make sure these things don't happen? It rests squarely in an unthinking society ruled by unthinking people, and that continue to take away lives. So let me tie it to aviation. And I want to put a note of warning. Aviation fuel is going up because of plant increase, the cost of crude. If you do not have a regulator who should regulate the way they should regulate, as at the time 14 years ago, where they are supposed to be regulating, I saw dancing to the right, dancing to the left, going to the center, and then blank, until we insisted. Now, legally, that you don't have a regulator, it's going to be a free-for-all. If you are not careful, Nigerians and, well, negative Nigerians with their tendency to want to cut corners and want to cut costs will take fuel that they know is fully deregulated out there. Go mix it. People have been talking about modular refineries. Look, we'll sit there and talk about so many things. Go and mix things, put it out there. Who are you going to sue? The government therefore needs to step back. All this huff-puffing, all this lying. If it is a lie to just say that you are beautiful when you know you are ugly, I don't have a problem with that. But if it is a lie that you are going to be telling people and their means of livelihood, their lives are going to be in danger, I will not allow the Sosoliso kind of experience that happened December 10, 2005 to happen again. Fellow Nigerians saw those children rushing into the plane.
Sure.
Those who came, rather than, oh, thank God, I'm safe. All those children went to the plane and they got perished in Port Harcourt. No fire service, nothing.
Except
no
only 2 people survived that.
Point I am therefore making is, this is now the time for Nigerians. All these lies and huff-puffing, I don't believe that anything is going to come out of it. I'm speaking from experience. Yes, I've lost faith. But if it's going to cost lives, let us implore our lawmakers. Mr. President, please wake up. If you do not know, I'm sorry. I'm telling you, I'm not going to allow ignorance to allow millions of Nigerians to just continue to perish. The template is there. Ask for the report. You don't need to do anything. It was done by Nigerians for Nigerians. We didn't need any consultant. And it's there, free. Go get that report. Let's make sure we begin to implement, and let's begin to now do something, irrespective of who is involved. Let's make consequence for bad behavior.
And that's what
we cannot continue to play the same ball in a different direction and expect that we are going to score. Corruption has eaten deep. Transparency International, just name it. The auditors have come with all their reports, and we keep our eyes the other side. And what are we putting at the other side? Flying private jets, taking care of ourselves. This one for COVID. People will go for medical tourism abroad, and Nigeria keeps on sinking. And that, again, is my ground. So Nigerians, in the immediate, those queues will continue. The reason why those queues will continue is that the adulterated fuel is sitting somewhere that has not been evacuated, that's going to be evacuated at cost. Serious when I say cost. And you know, if you don't have a regulation in place legally, some people might just take some of those things, it has happened before, take it somewhere else. Who is going to be responsible? The good fuel that they are promised is going to come. Where is it going to come? Are you going to buy those good fuel on the ocean, in the tankers, on the barges? Right now, incurring demurrage from monies that we have gone to borrow, that we should be using to secure our future. Those queues will continue until Nigeria decides, both those who are ruling us and those who are being ruled, to stop being jesters and comedians and face the real facts.
You know, I like it when you
hard time awaits all of us. I pray I am wrong, but I cannot be wrong because I'm being scientific. I've gone through it before. I saw it. I was in the middle of it when things were even a bit better. Right now, it's a free-for-all. So if a minister or Mr. President or any other person is now talking and saying whatever, they know who is involved. They know who is responsible. We are paying for our sins. The Apapa Port has been there. We have spoken over and over. It is not a place that Nigeria should just have just one place.
Let me even ask you a question. Why do we keep talking about, because when the federal government said this morning that 300 million liters of fuel came into Lagos, I know that they're talking about what came into Apapa Port. What happened to the other 20-something other ports that we have in Nigeria?
Okay, so you have that's the point I'm making, Tony. So if you had put all your eggs in one basket and that basket tears, what happens to the other eggs you are doing? You continue to suffer. No food.
So we don't have refineries, we have ports we've abandoned.
We have not planned strategically to do the right things over time, say with our refineries. And we must have to get punished for it.
So let's talk about the ports a little.
Uh-huh.
So
the other ports that we have are not developed. They should be developed. It should be part of our strategic planning. It's on paper. And as I speak with you, nothing's been done about it. How can you continue to want to do things in a particular direction and expecting a different result? Say with our sports, we will not prepare very well and we want to win medals. The same with our education. We will not do the things other countries do and we expect that we are going to continue to soar. The other ports need to be developed. Are you hearing that for the first time? It has always been something that we internally talk about. But the people at the commanding heights will come out and what are they going to tell you? We don't have enough money to do it. But they have enough money to take care of themselves.
Okay, so this is exactly what my concern is. 2020, the Nigeria Customs Service, Apapa Command, the revenue came up for the year to about 518 billion naira. Revenue that was generated by just the customs at Apapa. Now we're not talking about some, we're not talking about others. And my biggest concern really is if they generated this much revenue, if we have ports in Lagos, ports in Port Harcourt, rivers, ports in Cross River, ports in Akwa Ibom, ports in Delta, ports in... I'm just wondering...
Calabar Port is
Calabar
there.
Port is...
Cocoa Port is there.
So I'm just wondering if we have ports in all of these places.
Wouldn't we be generating more?
Why are we broke?
I'll tell you why we are broke. The 5 million that you mentioned that was generated...
513 billion.
If more than half of that goes into private pockets, you think I will now be happy that you should go and...
No, that was what they gave the government.
I'm not saying that's not what they gave. What did they declare?
Oh, that was what
Is it not public knowledge that agencies of government have not been declaring, including NNPC, that they took Professor Ojeri Day for the first time in JAMB to say, Jambu will be generating that kind of money? In other words, I am saying the leakages, the accountability, and the transparency is lacking. And it's done deliberately, just like what we are having in this contaminated fuel. Because a few people are benefiting from that angle. If I am an established demagogue,
okay,
and I get more than billions by just sitting at home and doing nothing, and then I am at the commanding heights, you think I will support a situation where you now then take that I know will benefit the rest of Nigeria?
I mean, people make money in Nigeria and it makes me laugh. I don't get it.
The whole world is laughing
I'm baffled
at us.
most times.
You are baffled because a few.
I mean,
have you
heard of this one before where they say that some people collect their jack and then they give it to some people, and then those people don't work, but then they drive all of the latest cars, and I mean they drive all of the latest cars from 2021 Benz to 2021, and I'm just asking myself the question: it doesn't work, it drives the latest cars year on year,
and that is exactly what is happening.
And so its only work is
you have producing units,
and so the federal government cannot probe, the state government cannot probe.
A few that are producing, and majority that are rent seekers. They don't do anything, whether it's a foreign exchange, arbitrage, whether it's just name it in all aspects. They just sit, and you're supposed to be giving them their allocation. Meanwhile, they are producing like mice and rabbits and cats. The children from there are out of school. Poverty is on the increase, and you now then say that that's a society that is being properly run,
Okay.
and they know. And the reason why that is ongoing, let me ask you as we conclude, why is it that the Petroleum Ministry is having Mr. President as the minister? His predecessors too did something similar. Well, I know we had Jonathan, that was a bit different, and gave that to somebody
else
who now then decided to do
the needful, the way it is being done.
The cash cow of the country. Without people.
I guess that's one of the reasons the president didn't want to give that position to somebody else.
But then the mere fact that things are going on, there are people who can do it, and this is the point. I've just thrown myself out there. I'm not asking for anything. I know what happened. I know what should be done, and I put it down on paper, and it's in the coffers of government. Why are they not using it? Now you are talking about ports. Position papers have been written. It's there. They all see it. They know it.
Okay, so
and then they look, they decide to look the other way. The same has gone for railways, remember? Deliberately killing the railways, and then we have got to borrow upon borrow and going on. The same is going with Nigerian Airways. Mentioned where it is not going. So the revenue,
this is not
profile and capacity of Nigeria is reducing.
So this is
corruption
not
is increasing.
A Buhari
population is
administration
increasing
problem.
In a country where we have educated folks. That is my pain. That's my pain.
So, Mr. Fatuke, this is a continuous cankerworm, a very big cankerworm that has continued to eat deeply into our country from the days of the military era to democracy, and now 21 years down the line of democracy, we're still at the same point.
It is cancer.
Yeah.
We had the same cancer. Listen, we had the same cancer in Ghana. Right? We had the same cancer in Rwanda. They said, no, not again. They stopped. Like Mrs. Akuyi, you said, stop! Let's accept that people have not done it well. And we say never again. The situation with Nigeria is that we are not applying the brakes. We are accelerating towards our Golgotha in a rapid scale. And then the politicians are all dancing around us, give us a bit of a doleful and a populace.
And we smile and eat.
Smiling. Rwanda stopped smiling. Ghana has stopped to smile and to ask for accountability. We all must get involved. And I'm saying, the subject of today, you think we are going to get those skills out? Please, don't deceive yourself.
Okay, I want to end this segment.
But I pray that when we decide to stop, look, the day we decide to stop, and it's possible for us to stop, is the political will to stop the rot. If we decide to stop, Nigeria will be an El Dorado, and that's what I'm looking out for, and that's the reason why I'm making this noise. And I'm also saying, by inference, government is listening to me, and they know that what I'm saying is true. Go get that report. At least go get that report, and let's know where we go from there.
All right, just before we end the segment, I want to talk about something really, something I like to do with something really nice. Some Nigerians will say, who wants to become a Nigerian? Everybody wants to become an American. 286 Americans, Asians, and Arabs have been given the approval to become Nigerians. I mean, irrespective of what you feel about our country, our people still want to get the green passport.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. If I was not to be a Nigerian, listen to me.
Yes.
And I have an opportunity to come to Nigeria, where I know you can be rough in a straight jacket. This is a place where you can come in and make money and corrupt everybody. And they see, outsiders see the corruption here, and so they want to be part of it. But when we make things a bit stringent, they know that is going to be the greatest good for the greater number of our people. Oh, they will watch. We have the sun, we have the water, we have the fauna, we have the flora, everything that is enabling has been given to this country. Take your finger, like I always say, cut it into two. Plant it will grow up. that is what nature has blessed Nigeria with. But what we now then do is, despite all what God has given us, leadership and commitment and nationhood has continued to elude us because we choose to go on a trajectory that will not take us to the promised land. We must restructure our mind, we must restructure the polity. We must know that the vehicle that we are in, that we call Nigeria, is not working, and we must gather together to see how Nigeria can unravel. And only that can be done by us Nigerians. We've done it before, I've told you. I'm sitting down here, I'm telling you, we've done it before a couple of times. And what we did was from patriotic perspective. We didn't take a farthing or a cover from government. In fact, we suffered a lot. It is gathering dust. Pull it out. Be honest. Be humble. To say, pull it out. And if anybody doubts me, go out there. You will be shocked. Nigerians will be crying that line by line process and procedure that we should face. And may I use this opportunity to thank two Nigerians and their ladies. One is still alive. Her name is Mary Ann Adieko. She was our chemist in our quality assurance lab. She had an opposite number. I hope she's still alive. Her name is Mrs. Omnibus. These two people led Nigeria without taking a cover to ensuring that what is happening now should not happen. You can imagine, hopefully they are listening to me. They cried, they suffered. I left the comfort of my office and I joined government. I didn't take a penny to put all that down, to assuage Nigerians, to insist that insurance must be instituted, that compensation, which of course I knew would not go.
We need to go.
I did all that, and I'm feeling sad that after doing all that, what I know, that home goal that should not come in, and it's still coming 14 years. What kind of irony is that? 14 years on the same month.
Hopefully, the government is listening. And I want to say thank you to Mr. Akinfatuke for joining us this morning on the Bumper Breakfast. We've been talking so much about Nigeria. And we move now to our business segment. Of course, Kenny is right here with us on the line. Kenny, good morning. Let's take the numbers for today. How have you been? And how was the market yesterday?
Good morning, Tomisin. Well, thank God we are back to life. And of course, the market numbers are increasing and improving. In spite of this increase and improvement, we have still not seen retailers in the market, that is retail buyers and sellers in the market.
Okay.
So what we have currently are high net worth individual and corporate organizations that are buying and selling.
Okay.
This probably may have explained why the number of trades that we record on a daily basis in the Nigeria exchange market is not up to 6,000 trades. That is in the number that trades are made, not in volume this time around. Of course, one individual can buy 1 billion units of shares, but that is not to say that the market is booming. That goes to show that it's either that individual is trying to take over a company or trying to kind of get more in that company.
Okay.
But whereby we have multiples of people buying and selling, then we can see that market to be a retail market as it may be called.
Okay.
And so I spoke with some market operators yesterday, and of course, what they said is that there's still room for retailers to be in the market.
Okay.
And part of this is the capital market roadmap that was instituted some years back, and according to them, we have still seen some level of development in terms of that roadmap that they claim, or they say that we have been able, that the market has been able to achieve at least 60% of its plan for the roadmap to come to a successful end. And of course, because the market is still ongoing, we expect that before the year and of the year that is planned, that is 20. I mean, is a 20-year plan. Before that period expires, we would have been able to achieve 100%. And if we cannot, the operators believe that because the market is an ongoing thing, there will be some amendment or review of the market. Having said that, let me quickly go through the figures as we have it in the market yesterday.
Okay.
Of course, the market index and cap appreciated by 0.21%. That is to say that the market gained 53.88 billion naira in market capitalization of listed equities on the floor of the exchange yesterday, having closed at 25.41 trillion naira as against the previous day's closing figure of 25.35 trillion naira. An index moving from 47,057.24 basis points to 47,157.23 basis points, an appreciation of 99.99 basis points. The number of volume traded yesterday stood at 297.24 million shares, valued at 4.69 billion naira, exchanged in 4,661 deals as a result of activities in the shares of Access Bank PLC, Sovereign Trust Insurance PLC, Nigeria Exchange Group, and Fidelity Bank PLC. For Access Bank, investors exchanged 48.1 million shares, valued at 498.7 million naira, exchanged in 303 deals at a market closing price of 10 naira 50 kobo per share, and was followed by interest.
And that's, you're talking about Access Bank now, right? You're talking about Access Bank.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Investors, like I said, investors in the.
Hello, Kenny.
Valued. Hello, are you with me?
Yes, we're with you.
Yes. Access Bank led in terms of volume transaction in the market yesterday. So we had 48.1 million shares traded, worth 498.7 million naira, exchanged in 303 deals at a market closing price of 10 naira 50 kobo per share. Sovereign Trust recorded 37.47 million shares, worth 8.62 million naira, done in 33 transactions at a market closing price of 23 kobo per share. Nigerian Exchange Group shows 22.69 million shares, worth 567.1 million naira, done in 94 transactions at a market closing price of 25 naira 10 kobo per share. And Fidelity Bank PLC with 21 million shares traded, valued at 60.5 million naira, done in 109 deals at a market closing price of 2 naira 90 kobo per share. The lowest trade stock in the market yesterday was that of Notori PLC, with just 25 units of its shares being traded, valued at 1,562 naira 50 kobo. This was done in 2 transactions at the market closing price of 62 naira 50 kobo per share. The market recorded 27 gainers as against 14 losers. The gainers was led by Guinness Nigerian PLC with a price gain of 1 naira 45 kobo to close at 50 naira. Flour Mills PLC went up by 1 naira 30 kobo to close at 31 naira 25 kobo. Union Bank showed up with 40 kobo appreciation to close at 6 naira 25 kobo, and Access Bank PLC gaining 30 kobo, closing at 10 naira 50 kobo. From the losers table, we have Presco PLC topping the table with a price depreciation of 50 kobo to close at 104 naira. Fitson Healthcare PLC went up, lost 12 kobo to close at 7 naira 73 kobo. UPD Creeds lost 10 kobo to close at 3 naira 55 kobo, and Julie PLC went down by 9 kobo, closing at 82 kobo. Some other information in the market as we have it shows that the FMDQ, that is the
like we need to go. Yeah.
FMDQ exchange is trading or is in the course of projecting the market more.
Okay.
And so more companies are going there for raising of capital,
Okay.
this raising of funds. We've had, in recent past, they have been able to raise for funds in billions of naira for
Okay.
some companies that will be operating in the Nigeria economic space. And
All
that
right.
shows that the FMBQ exchange is actually doing what it is expected in the market, that is providing
We need to
funds
go, Kenny.
for long-term purposes.
All right.
Well, we'll be talking about other figures next week. Over to you, Tomishi.
Thank you so much, Kenny. And that's where we draw the curtain on the bumper breakfast this morning. We'll see you again tomorrow morning, bright and early. Our guest this morning has been Mr. Akin Fatunke. Don't forget, COVID-19 is still very much out there. Stay safe and have a beautiful day.